and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Bederin FM, Pumpurugu, Klenam Radio Bato, Gaskia FM Techiman, and Radio Wa in Wa. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, 3 people arrested by police in connection with violent attacks on Mempasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region by opposing factions in land and chieftaincy disputes. Meanwhile, the North Gonja District Security Council to station joint military and police personnel in the area.
So when we saw that the situation was becoming tougher, then we deployed those in the boys were asked. So that's about 40.
Also, World Bank highlights the urgent need for the country to restructure certain power purchase agreements as it describes this are wrong and too expensive.
Ghana entered into some PPAs that were the wrong types in our view and at the wrong rates, at the wrong prices, and today you are paying dearly for it. There's really an urgent need to restructure these contracts.
In business,
we'll have more from that interview where the World Bank is set to advance more than $2 billion in project and budget support to aid Ghana's economic recovery. That's on the Joy Business Report.
Allowing Judge Ekwesin to contest a Sin North by-election is a calculated risk. That's the assessment by the NDC head of June 27 by-election.
Unless he's convicted and sentenced, nothing bars him from contest. Even when he becomes a member of parliament, there's a risk.
We'll hear from the party's Director of Legal Affairs, Abraham Amaliba, who says the risk is worth taking. And much later in the bulletin, why dancehall musician Stonebwoy assembled some of the world's topmost producers for his Fifth Dimension album.
Ginton is one Amsterdam guy who produced on Drake's last album as well. So these are people who understand the craft and the qualities of what they are using to produce what. And I think we deserve these type of sounds as well.
I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson with details shortly. In our first story, 3 persons have been arrested by the police in connection with violent attacks on Mempasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region by opposing factions in land and chieftaincy disputes. The police is further pursuing others suspected to have taken part in the attack. Several homes were destroyed yesterday following clashes in the area. Joseph Akable joins me in studio with more from the police statement. Joseph, what more is the police saying?
So the statement first gives an account of what actually happened. It says here that a gang numbering about 50 invaded the Mempasem community and kidnapped a 50-year-old man. They fled into the bush when the police responded to the attack. The police managed to rescue the kidnapped victim and retrieved one AK-47 weapon with 14 rounds of ammunition. On 1st June 2023, the police, while on patrol within the community, responded to another distress call of an attack by another gang on the Lukula community. The said suspects, who were on rampage, burning houses and shooting randomly, opened fire on the police upon seeing them. The police immediately responded and succeeded in arresting 3 of the suspects, namely Razak Suleimana, Musa Shanun, and Karim Abdul Rafiu. The 3 suspects who sustained gunshot wounds during the arrest are currently receiving treatment at a medical facility. A search conducted on them led to the retrieval of 1 pump-action gun, 2 single-barrel guns, 1 long knife, 80 live cartridges, and some talisman and cowries. And finally, it states that calm has been restored and security has been strengthened in Daboya and its surrounding communities to forestall further attacks.
Thank you, Joseph. Meanwhile, the North Gonja District Security Council is hinting at maintaining joint military and police personnel at Lukula, where residents have been forced to flee their homes. DC Adam Eliasu says the situation remains volatile.
We have this FPU operation, 2 bases in the district. One in the Boya, one in Mankargo. Each of the bases has 20 members. So the first team that was deployed to the place was the base, the Mankargo FPU base. So when we saw that the situation was becoming tougher, then we deployed those in the Boyas were asked. So that's about 40.
Adam Eliasu is DC for North Gonja. Away from that, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital has debunked claims patients are being discharged due to a lack of funds. Earlier, there were reports about how some patients had been released to their guardians because the hospital could not cover their daily expenses. One of the caretakers, Penyin Ampia, who is a relative to one of the patients, told Joy News he's been asked to pick up his twin brother.
And they told me it's a new directive from the government that anyone in the hospital should be sent home and brought back for a new admission. And the money and the things that it entails, as now I can't foot on the bills. And secondly, my twin brother is not well and I can't treat my twin brother at home. So I just came here to give the complaint so that the necessary measures will be taken so that my brother will be sent back to the hospital.
But the hospital's management says all patients who have been discharged are sound enough to reunite with their families. Dr. Peggy Isiedu is a specialist psychiatrist and head of PR at the hospital.
We are letting them go in because they have requested to go home, and it is their right. They can always come back to the hospital for a review. They requested to go home, so we have let them go home. Those who have been discharged can be managed at home.
Ghana is facing a pressing challenge at the World Bank as the World Bank highlights the urgent need for the country to restructure certain power purchase agreements. World Bank Country Director Pierre-Frank Laporte believes that many of these agreements were simply wrong, too expensive, and are now acting as standing blocks to other better and much-needed contracts.
But the fact is, in the last few years, Ghana entered into some PPAs that were the wrong types, in our view, and at the wrong rates, at the wrong prices, and today you are paying dearly for it. And also it has an impact because today we're talking of clean energy. Yeah. Many companies want to come to Ghana to do solar and all. Yeah, government wants probably the best thing to do, but you are still caught up with those that you have to pay because you are tied up in this contract. So you will take new ones, you will pay them, you have to pay the other ones. So there's really an urgent need to restructure these contracts.
Meanwhile, Pierre-Frank Laporte believes Ghana's economy can be brought back to life if the country sticks to the policy agreement contained in the IMF program.
Look, it's IMF program. Okay. I cannot say I'm satisfied or not, but what I can tell you, when I read the program document, and as a former IMF staff, as an economist, when I look at the policies in there, I agree with the assessment that the policies, if implemented, are adequate to bring the country to a better place.
Now to Parliament. The Assurance Committee has served notice it will hold the Education Minister Dr. Yao-Se Duchum before the House over the lack of textbooks in some basic schools 3 years after government implemented a new curriculum. Last year, the Education Minister told Parliament's Government Assurances Committee that the situation had been fixed and textbooks distributed to schools nationwide. But after touring some schools to verify the claims, member of the committee, Andrew Chiwete, says some schools are still without textbooks.
The duty of the committee is to go around and ensure that we realize that from JSS 1 to JSS 3, they never receive a single textbook. And we are all aware that the JSS 3 peoples will be sitting their BEC exams very soon. Here is the case, the students do not have the textbooks. And so we think that it is not appropriate. Even those schools that they receive the textbooks, there are some of the schools that have the full complements, others do not have. So we think it's a problem that we have to report accurately to Parliament, and then we'll put the Education Minister right.
Andrew Chiwete is a member of the Assurances Committee in Parliament. A family of 85-year-old cured leper Dari Paul, who passed away last Sunday, has been sharing memorable moments from her last days on earth. She has always been full of praise for the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for the gesture of constructing a home for her. It follows a Joy News documentary by Seth Kwame Boateng that highlighted her plight. Rafiq Salam was part of a delegation that visited the family to commiserate with them on behalf of the Vice President.
According to spokesperson of the family of Daraporo, Felix Nananzuma, the octogenarian cured leper suddenly took ill for some few days before passing on to eternity.
She was sick on Thursday. She fell sick on Thursday. Passed on Sunday, and then they buried her the following day, according to the tradition. So she was buried on Sunday morning.
The story of Daraporo came to light following a hotline documentary by Join Yourself Kwame Boateng, highlighting the inhumane and squalid conditions she's been living under. That report contracted leprosy at a tender age and had all 10 fingers and toes.
Rafiq Salam's report. In entertainment, musician Stonebwoy says African acts deserve to work with the very best in the industry to gain global attention. This is why he went all out to utilize some of the world's best sound engineers on his Fifth Dimension album. Listen.
Ginton is one Amsterdam guy who produced on Drake's last album as well. So these are people who understand the craft and the qualities of what they are using to produce what. And I think we deserve these type of sounds as well. So I just went all the way up on every single song. Even the ones that are produced in Ghana match up to the international standards that they have to be. Shout outs to Gazi who produced Manoji, the Imagine Guilty Beats.
Yeah.
You know, he done on Beyonce's album.
Amazing guy.
He produced Runner. The production from Life and Money with J5, who's done Burner's albums, etc. Therapy and More of You was done by Super Dupes, who's done Bruno Mars. Into the future with you.
Musician Stonebwoy then. That's all for the news at 6. Our top story this hour, 3 persons arrested by police in connection with violent attacks on Mimpasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region by opposing factions in land and chieftaincy disputes. I am Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Business is up next on the Super Morning Show.
Love, and you know it's safe. Baby, never listen to what them say.